Hello! Welcome back to a Saturday stream here on Tech Ambrosia. Hope everybody's had a wonderful week. It's been a couple of weeks at this point, because I was out of town last weekend. Hopefully everyone's had a good couple of weeks then. I had a phenomenal time. Just absolutely phenomenal time. I visited some friends up in Wisconsin and Northern Illinois, and I went and visited the one and only Ron from Ron's Computer Videos down in Missouri. And it was a good time. It was a good time. And of course I completely forgot to take pictures of pretty much anything. I did take a few pictures because I took this along with me as part of the crappy camera challenge that's going around on Mastodon right now. This is a Fujifilm S3000 from like 2003. That was my main camera for the weekend, but I also, hanging out with the friends in Wisconsin, I flew my drone a little bit, got some video footage there, and that's with them. Not the drone, but the footage is with them. And not a whole lot of other, picture taking. I was mostly just, sharing the experiences. And I completely spaced on, taking photos of, like, people. I'm not smart. So, who do we have here in the chat? Who have we got? We've got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. Hello. How's it going, Dave? Hope you've had a good couple of weeks. It's been a while. Also, we've got Jack68K. Hello. Welcome back to the stream. And Trina's Technobabble is here. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot on the docket this weekend because I was gone. I was gone for over a week. And I was supposed to get a lovely pack of M3 screws in the mail so that I could finish this thing off and get it off my desk. And my apartment complex ate them. We have a Amazon hub thing here, and I received 2 packages while I was gone. And I went to pick them up from the office. They only gave me one of them. I'm extremely glad that they gave me the one that they gave me, because the one that they gave me was this G3 upgrade card for the PowerMac 8500. I'm much happier to have received this than I would have been to only receive the box of screws. So I should have reordered the screws. That's why this isn't off the table yet. And this time I can actually be present to intercept the package and actually receive it and fix this thing. I cannot wait. I can't tell you how much I want to move out of here. Lease is up in March, and it can't come soon enough. It cannot come soon enough. I'm so sick of this place. We got some more folks trickling in. Looks like we've got Sean Lynch is here. BPS Car Audio, hello. You have hopped in a couple of other times. I've seen you around. Hello, how's it going? Francois is here. Hello. Welcome. Martin B is here. Hello, hello. Yeah, it's just going to be a chill stream this week. I can show you one of the things I got this weekend. Well, okay. I can show you a couple of the things I got this weekend. One is I put some cash into an estate sale through a friend of mine up in Wisconsin. And I picked up a pair of Quadra 700s. That Quadra 700, the one that, shows up in Jurassic Park. It's been kind of my unicorn 68K Mac to collect, and I finally have a pair of them, and they're in good shape, and they both chime, and their batteries haven't leaked all over the boards. The motherboards look completely and utterly pristine. I got really lucky. But also, I'll show you those in a minute. I will show you one of them in a minute. You might notice that my Mac Plus, my poor little Mac Plus, is sitting on the floor right now. It's because its normal spot, which is right over here, is occupied by one of the Quadra 700s, as well as the PowerMac 8500 we're going to be playing around with today. But along with those two, I didn't even realize that these came with these, but along with the two Quadra 700s, I got a literal wash basket full of cables and 3 keyboards. I'm like, oh, all right, 3 keyboards, that's fine. Not knowing, not having seen any pictures of the keyboards, I'm like, all right, it's probably like 3 Apple design keyboards or something, right? Like, it's not going to be great. It's 3 Apple Extended Keyboard 2s. And they all work. They're in various states of yellowing. This one is the least yellow. In fact, it looks like it's from 1991. It looks incredible. Clean and platinum and beautiful. And it, I miss this thing. Oh, I miss this thing so much. God, love those switches. Oh, so good. I'm so glad to have a working aircraft carrier in my possession again. It's so nice. It's so nice. Sean Lynch says, that's a big keyboard. Yeah, let me disconnect it here so you can see the whole thing. And it's got very grippy ADB ports on it. But this is the beast. It's known as the aircraft carrier. You can see it's got this weird, gentle curve to it. The unique flat power button in the corner. And of course the rear legs are adjustable. I don't think this one works anymore, but you're supposed to be able to slide this left and right, and then this should come out, pop back in. I don't care. I really don't care. The fact that the rest of it works and it is as clean as it is, like, this is gorgeous, gorgeous condition. Just the prettiest extended keyboard I've ever seen. Other than the one that I used to use on my dad's Mac 2 CX back in the day when I was a little kiddo. Absolutely gorgeous. Also comes with the silly bikini. Goes on the top of the F keys here. It's got one side you can write on, the other side has just, you know, undo, cut, copy, paste on it. It goes on the top like that. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So there's this keyboard. If you don't know, this keyboard is the reason that there are mod projects out there that will take Apple Desktop Bus and turn it into USB so you can use these keyboards with modern computers. These keyboards are the reason. These and then the Apple II GS keyboards. They're the two best keyboards Apple ever made. And they're phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal keyboards. I have 3 of them that work, and I have one that's broken over there. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So, the 2 Quadra 700s. They both, I've only tested them to chiming. Like I said, got all this stuff on my desk. I haven't had a lot of chance to actually test them. I did try them out when I went to pick them up. Just plugging them in, see if they worked. They both chime. They're both fairly stock. They've got some upgraded RAM in them, but I don't know how much. And I think they have stock VRAM in both of them, which is fine. You can't see it, but up here on this shelf here, at the very top of it, is a box that's got an Apple 824 display card in it. I'm gonna probably throw that in one of the Quadras, just because I'd like to have a little more display performance out of it than the built-in video. But and Jack68K says the best Apple keyboard. Yeah, this thing is fantastic. God. And it still feels good. Like, the keys still feel good. The switches still feel good. Oh, gosh. I'm probably going to pick up one of those ADB to USB things so I can use it with my modern computer, because yeah. I don't need anything else. It's so nice. Oh, it's just so nice to use. What was I saying? What was I saying? I don't know. Who cares? Jack6DK says a pair of Quadra 700s. Yes, a pair of Quadra 700s. And then, of course, Ron, when I visited Ron, foisted some of his collection on me. I have down here that ImageWriter he was trying to give away. It landed on It landed in my lap. Supposedly it works. I guess we'll find out. I've got a couple of extra ribbons for it from Ron. It's been ages since I used an ImageWriter. If you don't know what this is a dot matrix printer from Apple. I think it's, I don't remember which mechanism they rebranded, but it's capable of, I think, 144 dpi, and then of course if you load a color ribbon into it, it can print in color. It's sort of an approximation of color. But not a particularly fast machine, but it's not super loud, and actually the text printout quality is pretty good. Prefers tractor feed paper. I don't know if I can even find tractor feed paper anymore, but I'll give it a shot. Plan with that thing is, once I get this off of my desk, rearrange the machines over here and get the ImageWriter set up and on the Global Talk network, because that's another thing. Global Talk is pretty great. We're gonna explore it all in a minute. Once we're done here, just chatting, I'll fire up the 8500 and we can take a look at what's been going on. Oh, who we got? We got more folks here. More folks. Sean Lynch says, I've been working on replacing caps and some LCDs. Nice. Nice. Jack68K asks, do either of them have the PowerPC 601 upgrade card? No. They are almost completely stock. Just a little bit of upgrade RAM, unfortunately. I was really hoping that they'd have some kind of accelerator card or something in them, but no. I mean, it's a Quadra 700. It's all the Mac you needed. It's all the Mac you needed for a long time. One thing you will notice when I flip over to that camera is that the previous owner put the Plain Talk microphone sticky that's supposed to go on the side of your monitor, so you can just grab the mic and talk into it. He put the Plain Talk mic sticky on the front of each machine. So I have to figure out how to get that off of there with like some Goo Gone or something. And maybe not Goo Gone, but something that won't kill the plastics. Martin B asks, is it a DIN 5 keyboard? It is not. It is Apple Desktop Bus. Apple Desktop Bus is like a really early predecessor to USB. It is a bus. It communicates with multiple devices. You actually daisy chain take an ADB cable from your computer, plug it into your keyboard, and then you can daisy chain it in your mouse. There were also ADB graphics tablets, stuff like that. I don't think there was ever an ADB scanner, but like if you had like a Braille keyboard or a Braille display, you'd plug it into ADB. Yeah, it was a kind of an interesting bus. I don't know a ton about it other than I think Woz ended up choosing the S-Video connector format for it. This is an old standard. This is old. Can I even grab this out of here? Is it gonna let me? Yes. It uses the S-Video pinout standard. That is literally an S-Video connector. Just for economy's sake, it's just cheap to find, cheap to buy. You can actually just use S-Video cables between ADB peripherals. There's nothing unique about the wiring. What else? Anybody else? Nigel Rhodes says, I like the Honeywell version of them too. Must be talking about the switches of these keyboards. They are Alps switches. Unless I'm thinking of like the Honeywell like Hall effect switches. I'm thinking you're thinking of something else. John Lynch says, I remember that. I don't remember them. I remember the smaller one like that. Yeah, probably the 2GS keyboard. Which is, yeah, is a smaller version of this. Also used Alps keyboard, or Alps keys, or Alps switches. Also well regarded for its typeability. Oh, Jack68K says, my mom threw one of those keyboards out. Horrified. Yeah. Oh. Awful. Oh, nice. Nigel Rhodes says you can still buy tractor feed paper from office supply shops here in office supply shops here in Australia. That's pretty awesome. I'm hoping I can track some down here in the States. Jack 68K says, I bought some for Global Talk. Yeah, no, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, Nigel Rhodes says Geoport had scanners. I think. Yes. Yeah, there were graphics tablets on ADB. The scanners were hooked up to the serial bus. The Geoport. Yeah. All right. So let's flip over to the desk cam, which isn't looking at the desk right now, again, and we'll take a look at the machines. Ta-da! So there's one of the quadras. You can see, like, that's the other one's not that clean, but it's not bad. Really, the other one just needs some retro brighting. It's entirely complete. There's no like weird faded spots. There's nothing stuck to it. Excuse me. There's nothing stuck to it other than this plain talk microphone holder, which is just silly. I don't know why it's there, but okay, sure. And yeah, this is my 68040. The full version of the 68040 that I picked up on eBay. That's gonna go in my Centris to replace the LC040 in the Centris. I fixed all the bent pins. If you subscribe to the Patreon, by the way, Tech Ambrosia has a Patreon now. I gotta get used to sticking the Patreon link in all of my video descriptions now. But one of the articles I have up there is, musing on who would be caught dead bending the pins out of a 30-year-old processor. Me, of course, because I'm weird. And we've got a bunch of friends here stuffed into the 8500, and on top I've got the latest stuff that came in from eBay. I already showed you the G3 upgrade card, but also this is the original. Well, not original to this machine, but this would have been the original CPU card for this machine. I'm looking forward to trying this out just to see how slow it actually was as just a regular PowerPC 604 120 versus the upgraded 604E 233 that's in this thing. So, with all that said, Sean Lynch says, nice towers, thank you. Yeah, they're this one's a little rough. We don't have we're missing our power button. The folks here are hiding the missing drive bay bezel, but that's fine. It's something that 3D printing can fix. Not a bad thing. And the missing bezel slot on the Centris is on purpose. That's going to Big Bad Biologist. He recapped that board in a series of incredible streams. If you haven't seen it, absolute hero's work there, recapping that thing. And I'm going to be replacing. I sent him the as a tiny way of saying thanks. I sent him the slot loading CD-ROM drive that was in it, which he also recapped, and then he's getting the bezel for it so he can put it into his Quadra 610. And I'm going to 3D print a bezel for that my Blue Scuzzy V2 that's in there. Anyway, let's boot this thing up and go. Nigel asks, is that a 9200 or a 9600? It is neither. It's a PowerMac 8500 120 with a 604E 233 card in it that doesn't have any Apple branding on it. So I don't think it came out of a PowerMac. I think it came out of a clone. My guess is that it came out of a UMax. Either the S900 or the J700, because UMax, because Power Computing used the 50 megahertz bus. They used either 40 or 50 megahertz buses. To use a 233 megahertz CPU, it would have had to be the 33 megahertz bus. And I think only really UMax did that with their 604 clones. Yeah, no, I like it. Nigel says the 8500 is a nice machine. I've been enjoying it thoroughly. And now we can all enjoy it. So I'm going to hit the power button on this keyboard. And off we go. Hopefully my noise reduction didn't pull out that chime. There we go. Okay. I just tested this capture card. The capture card was working. All right. We're good. We're good. It has happened in the past that I've started up the capture card. Everything's been fine all morning while I'm testing, and then I go to start streaming and the capture card dies on me. There we go. I adjusted the clock and the phase on my VGA to HDMI, so we've got a super clean signal off this thing right now. Yes, I run a VNC server on this thing so that I can just boot it up and access it from my modern machines over the network. So I don't have to plug in my capture card and fiddle around with trying to view its screen all the time. When I move to a larger space, I'd like to set up like a 1995 area, just have this there with like a dedicated monitor and have one of the extended keyboard 2s out there just ready to go. So let's quit that and running a few extensions here because being able to drag your window around is not a normal thing in macOS, classic macOS. If you're curious, it is called Drag Any Window. I should be able to pick it up on the Macintosh Garden. It does work on 68K machines, and it does work quite nicely in Basilisk too if you're doing emulation. Jack 68K is 1995 area, love it. Indeed, indeed. The highest I like to go on the 8500 is macOS 8.6. It takes a little bit of time to boot it. I'm booting off of a Blue SCSI V1 that's plugged into the back of the machine, so it's running off the slow SCSI bus. So it doesn't boot up super fast. But once it's booted up, it's pretty quick. It's pretty sprightly. If we do our graphing calculator, and we do the big demo, things run pretty snappily. Actually, I want to do the demo for version 2. I don't think anybody ever bought this. I'm pretty sure. Right, like who actually bought the upgrade version of the graphing calculator app? I don't think anybody ever bought it. This is, by the way, no 3D accelerator in this machine. This just has like onboard video. It's basically a frame buffer. I don't think we have like even basic draw acceleration. Sean Lynch says the old OS is so much cooler than the newer OS. I agree. I very much agree. I love it. There's so much cool stuff you can do in these old operating systems. And when you're done, you hit quit, and it goes away. There's nothing tracking what you're clicking on, there's no ads, it's just an operating system. It just runs programs. That's all it's supposed to do. It only runs the programs you want it to run. That's how it should be. Oh boy. Alright, so what can we do with this thing? Well, we have a network connection. So if we want to get on the internet, if I can, there we go. I've been trying various browsers on it. I think I need to get a newer version of CarbonLib on this thing, because like Netscape 7, Mozilla 7.0, Classilla won't run on this, which is weird because it should. OS 8.6 should be new enough for it to run, but I think I need a newer version of CarbonLib. So we've got network access. We can play around on Macintosh Garden. We can go to FrogFind. It's not the fastest browser in the world, that's for sure. Oh. So, if you don't remember, Microsoft, bailed out Apple in the late 90s, right before they did their comeback, right, with the iMac. macOS 8.6 is basically, the iMac OS. That was the first versions of the iMac shipped with 8.5 and 8.6, and that's why you have everything here that's all like, horizontal lines and Bondi coloring. It's to fit in with the iMac. And part of the stipulation with the bailout cache was you got Internet Explorer bundled with the operating system, and it was it wasn't like an existing rendering engine, I don't think, because it rendered completely different. Like, this is what is the version of, what does this say? This is IE 5.1. It hits and it misses HTML features differently than like IE 5.5 on Windows 2000 and Windows XP, or yeah, Windows 2000 at this point would have been. But it's, yeah, I don't know what it was for a rendering engine. I think it may have been something, something custom for the Mac version of the product. But for the era, it's competent. If you can get like Netscape Communicator 7 running on a system, it's a little bit better with web rendering, but everything is broken, right? You run a vintage browser like this, everything in the modern web is broken. You need something like FrogFind to like filter out all the JavaScript and stuff so you can actually like see things. Let's do PowerMac 8500 Wikipedia. And even with something that's as fast as this is, which is, it's a 604E at 233 megahertz, which is blazingly fast for what this thing is, it's still not that fast. You're still talking about a CPU that's roughly equivalent to an original Pentium, maybe a Pentium MMX without the MMX unit. It's not actually that fast in the grand scheme of things. It's part of why the G3 was such a huge success in both in selling new computers and then selling things like these upgrade cards, right? Like, if you could put a G3 in it, you'd put a G3 in it. Like, there's no reason you'd keep one of these things running on a 604, which is what I think happened with this one. Because it's running this 604E with no Apple branding on it, I think someone bought a clone and they probably G3 upgraded the clone and then took this card out of the clone, stuck it in this PowerMac 8500, and it was a hand-me-down machine. That's my best guess on what happened with this machine, what this machine's story is. Because otherwise there's no reason, really, unless you just keep the machine stock, like there's no reason to put a 604E upgrade card in it. They weren't around that long before the G3s came out, and the G3s were so much faster. So much faster. So there we go, we've got we've got our info on the PowerMac 8500. And yeah, we've got 6 composite input outputs on the back of this thing. I haven't tried them yet. I would really like to. I need to pick up a few high-speed SCSI drives, I think, in order to try it out correctly. I don't think it's going to write to a bunch of SD cards correctly, but yeah, maybe. Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, blah 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 blah. 25%, 44% faster than Pentium. It's roughly equivalent. Yeah. Performance of nearly double on graphics and publishing tasks. I mean, sure. It's got a really fast disk subsystem, so, publishing is great. The graphics, though, in this thing are pretty baseline. One of the upgrades I want to do to this, since it is based on PCI slots, is to throw Rage 128 in here and get some, like, actual accelerated graphics, both 2D acceleration and 3D acceleration. That should help out a lot with the with the system's snappiness. Also, the G3 card, I've been doing some research on it. This particular one, it's very interesting actually. There's a couple of adjusters up here. I don't know if you can see these, but these are rotary switches, and you can set your CPU delay line, the front side bus speed, and then the clock multiplier for this card. So these CPU cards, plug into the motherboard and they tell the motherboard what bus speed to run, and then normally the multiplier is taken care of by the card, right? It's fixed, you can't change it. This lets you change it. And in fact, I looked this one up using the manual. Big thanks to Zodium for finding the manual for me. This one's set to run, it's supposed to be a 333 megahertz G3 upgrade card. This is set to run on a 52 megahertz frontside bus at a like 364 megahertz. So it's overclocked and it's requesting the fastest bus speed that the 8500 could give you, and then some, just a little bit more. So the caveat with the G3 card is it doesn't work with the onboard video, so you've got to have another video card. So I've got one on the way. Anyway, we have network connectivity. I've mostly been using it to just get files onto this thing. We've got a whole bunch of games on here. We looked at some of those last week before last when I was trying to rebuild the Ender 3 behind me. But I've also found, with my games folder here, if any of you used a PowerMac back in the day, you may remember this. This silly little application. This is a proof of concept for Apple's QuickDraw 3D libraries. If you remember, back to the mid-90s, right? So 1995 is when this computer originally launched with 120 megahertz 604 in it, right? 1995, like months before Windows 95 existed. There was no such thing as 3D acceleration. And then everyone tried to like make their own 3D acceleration API, if you remember that. Like S3 had their own API, Metrox made their own API, of course ATI made their own API, and in fact they had their own API on PC and on Mac. Their API on the Mac actually had some success. It was called Rave, and there are several games that use it, so having an ATI card on a Mac, on a classic Mac, not a bad idea. But then you've got like, of course, the big winner of those proprietary APIs was 3D effects with Glide, right? You remember Glide? But Apple made their own. Of course they did. They called it QuickDraw 3D because the graphic subsystem on macOS is called QuickDraw. Once Color came out, it was Color QuickDraw, and then it was 32-bit Color QuickDraw. Once you had high color and 32-bit clean ROMs, so you could do flat addressing, 32-bit memory space. But then you had QuickDraw 3D, and QuickDraw 3D was similar to QuickDraw in that it was an API. You had a bunch of functions you could call through it, similar to something like, it was more similar, less similar like to Glide, more similar to something like OpenGL or DirectX. And honestly, looking at this, I don't know of a ton of things that used QuickDraw 3D, but this was a proof of concept programmed by Pangaea Software, who you might recognize as one of the more prolific Mac developers of the time. But this is kind of impressive considering, again, that Rage 128's not in here. This is all software rendered. It's all basically written to a frame buffer. But it's, well, I can explain the game, or you can take a look at it. Let me show you. So we have a track editor in the background, and we have this little fly-through window. And I don't know if you can hear it, but we've got a very, very silly soundtrack in the background. Can make this window a little larger. But again, all software rendered to basically a frame buffer, a dumb frame buffer. I think the most impressive part, though, is if I change the camera to the flying camera, the bird of prey cam, and then make the track textured. We're demonstrating some 3D features here that weren't present in a lot of early 3D systems. See if we can see these here. So it's software rendering, but we've got MIP maps. So like level of detail in the texturing. These are perspective correct textures. Like if we get up close to this track, it doesn't get all warp and wobbly, right? Like it's There's some features in QuickDraw 3D that are not bad, honestly. Anyway, this is extremely silly and I love it. I remember as a little kiddo trying to run this on my parents' Performa 6400, PowerMac 6400, the big tall tower with the giant forehead on the top, where there's supposed to be a zip drive. And I'd have to make the window like that small in order for it to run well. This is it. This is all there is. This is all there is to the game. You can go into the track editor here and like move the track editor around and then resize portions of track dynamically, and then of course you can change them to be whatever you'd like. And those changes are reflected dynamically as soon as you flip back to the fly-through view. So there's that new section of track. It's just there's a lot of effort put into this like little throwaway tech demo. I don't know. I found it impressive back then. What is the 1995? To put a date on this, 1995. QuickDraw 3D did require a PowerPC Mac. Did not run on 68040s. Did not run on 68040s. Required a PowerPC Mac. But it's impressive. I think it's impressive. Anyway. It's silly. It's silly. Oh, Nigel Rhodes says QuickTime VR was great too. Yeah, so QuickTime VR was like, that was for 360 panoramas, wasn't it? VR. It was the 90s, everything was VR. If it was 3D at all, in the slightest sense, it was VR. Definitely not a factor for why Nikon named their optical image stabilization lenses vibration reduction, because then they can put VR on the side of their lenses. It goes right next to the letters AI for their auto indexing. Garth Beagle's here. Hello, Garth. How's it going? We're just screwing around with the PowerMac. I promised you some BeOS. We should do that. So, I tried for a good, like, most of last night to get an install CD that I could put onto this blue SCSI that's plugged into this thing and like boot the install CD so you can see the whole install process. Could not get it to work. Every disk that's out there is a bin queue, and blue SCSI version 1, which is what's plugged into the back of this machine, doesn't support bin queue. But you can try and convert it to an ISO. Every ISO converter I tried just crashed when I tried to convert the bin queue to an ISO. So, which makes sense. It's It's a dual session disk. Half of the partition is Apple HFS, and half of the partition is BFS. So I imagine anything that tries to convert it to an ISO kind of just has a conniption fit. And I'm of course talking about the final release of BeOS, original BeOS, which is 5.03 for PowerPC. I think there were some later releases for x86, but for PowerPC, release 5 is the last one. Now, when I was a kiddo and I was obsessed with BeOS, I had a copy of the preview release 2. I had it in like this cardboard folio, and it had the little blurb on the one side and the disc on the other, and I really wish I'd kept that. I don't think I threw it away. I think I lost it over the last 30 years or so. Can't imagine why. But I did find an ISO of the preview release 2 install disk, and I've got it on this Blue SCSI. So we've got, essentially, the install disk is in this Mac, ready to go, in its CD-ROM drive. Jack68K says, BeOS was cool, but Next was definitely the right move. I don't know. I'm gonna fight you on that. I really love how responsive BeOS is, and we're gonna see that in a second here. So we've got, like I said, I've got some things installed in this Mac OS that let me move my whole window around. You can see how chunky that is. And like we get window updates behind, but it's only every couple of seconds. That's all because of this control panel that I'm using, which is drag any window, where you can tell it like how often do you want it to redraw windows behind. And yeah, it's not a normal feature of macOS. Normally you grab a window in macOS, you get an outline, you let go, and it draws the window. So that alone was pretty incredible. Now I haven't done this for 30 years, so I'm going to start with the instructions, because I don't actually remember how to do this. I've got, I have several disks on this Blue SCSI. I want to put it on this one, Blue Boot 2 GB. It is a 2 GB partition. It's got some stuff on it that I don't care about, so I just want to wipe it and install BeOS on it. So we're going to figure out how to do that. Let's see. Installation requirements. We've got the right kind of machine. So PowerPC BeOS will install on a PowerMac that uses the Tsunami, TNT, or Nitro architectures. It does not support the later 9600s that use Kansas for whatever reason. I think it's the Northbridge chip is too different. I don't remember. But we're right in the supported section. Also, it will use I think the 4400 will work. The 7200, 7300, 7500 series works. And of course the Performa and PowerMac 6400, the big tall forehead tower. Let's see, we need ADB keyboards, it's fine. 150 megabytes or more disk space, not a problem. CD-ROM drive, we've got one, CD-ROM drive. Max onboard Ethernet, awesome. All right, I think we should be good there. Preparing a PowerMac for installation. If you have a B-box, by the way, if you have a B-box, skip to the next section. God, I wish I had a B-box. So says every retro collector ever who ever heard about the B-box. Oh. I think, yeah, just run the installer. All right. Oh yeah, this is a thing. Bet you didn't know about this. There was definitely a thing with Macs. There were several monitors that Apple sold that could only do one frequency and resolution. If you bought a particular monitor, usually it was the lower end ones, they ran out at one resolution and refresh rate. Fixed sync. That's where the old NEC multi-sync monitors came from. That's how they got their name. They could do multiple sync frequencies. More importantly, the computer could tell it what sync frequency to use. And thus you got dynamic resolution switching. Wasn't a thing for forever. Okay, that's fine. Oh, here we go. As soon as the B logo appears, press the Shift key until the boot selection screen opens. Okay. Okay. So we install the tools, double-click the launcher, and hold down Shift to get the boot select screen, which is important because I'm cheating a little bit, because if this doesn't work, I've got a backup. I already have a Blue SCSI image on here that has BeOS R5 installed and working, and even configured for network. Just in case this doesn't work, we've got a fallback. We can still do BeOS. But I really want to see preview release 2 run on this thing, because I remember loading up PR2 on that 6400, and it was just night and day. It was so much faster. All right, let's do this. I think yeah, let's put it on this disk. This is where I install all my junk. It's a 5 GB image on this Blue SCSI. I just throw all my junk on it. Install. Beautiful. Quit. We should be able to run. There should be an OS chooser in here. There we go. Yes. So we hold down Shift. There we go. Holding Shift. Jack68K says it's like the cooking shows where they bring out the one they pre-made. You know, you gotta do a little bit of preparation if you're gonna do television. It's just, you know, it's the thing. Okay, so we've got, yeah, so that's my prepped drive. That's my BeOS 1 GB prepped drive. So we want to boot off of the install. So we'll do that. Booting from BeOS install. Hey, look at that! Heck yeah! We have booted BeOS. Alright, let's install it onto Blueboot 2 GB. Begin. Yes. Zap it. We're going to call this BeOS 2 GB. Go. It's doing the thing. So drag this around while it's doing it. Yeah. Look at that. Drag the installer window around and it still updates while it's installing. Pervasive multi-threading was a big deal in 1995. Windows 95 you can do this. Yeah, so Garth says, when I installed BeOS last, I burned a CD, but that was before Blue SCSI, and I was installing on an iMac 4400. So every time I've heard somebody successfully install BeOS R5 on a PowerPC machine, they just burn the CD. Right, you just grab the bin queue and you burn it, and then you just put it on a machine that has a working CD-ROM drive. I don't have a machine with a working CD-ROM drive. So I'm trying to just do it through my Blue SCSI. But yeah, that seems to be the way to do it. If you just want to install BeOS R5, just burn it. Just burn it to a disk, install it that way. Jack68K says, the amount of technical underpinnings of Next that still exist today in Apple's platforms is pretty impressive. I mean, yeah, business decision, sure, absolutely. OpenStep, NextStep was definitely the right choice from a business decision. From a professional computer toucher opinion, I'd say no. I do not want to make this the startup disk. I'll do that later. Okay, we've got third-party software in there. Cool. Quit. And we reboot. Now it should reboot back into macOS, where we can use that BeOS launcher application to boot into our brand new Preview Release 2 install. So it would have been interesting to see, honestly, because like Jean-Louis Gasset asked for like $300 million or $200 million for B, and Apple rightfully laughed at him. Said no. Your stuff's cool, it's not worth that much money. If he had, maybe asked for 40 or 50, maybe we'd be using macOS and iPhones based on B instead. I don't know. It's an interesting thought. And yeah, like, NextStep, OpenStep is a very advanced operating system. It's extremely advanced. It's, native multi-architecture modes, or native multi-architecture support was way ahead of its time. Apple had to essentially hack that in to the macOS, to the classic macOS. And, Next just built it in from the start. If you're asking, like, what do you mean? When you open up an app, so you have, like, say, textedit.app, right? In anything, in NextStep, OpenStep, GNU Step, macOS 10, present-day macOS, it's a folder. It's a folder. And inside it is a contents folder. And inside that, you've got architectures. You have folders for architectures that the code's been built for. And inside there are your binaries. So you can, building a universal app for NextStep is as simple as, compiling the binary a couple of times, dropping it into your .app bundle, and ta-da, Bob's your uncle. You've got multi-architecture support. You have a fat binary than BeOS was or macOS was. The way Apple did it in classic macOS is everything from macOS, any macOS running on a PowerPC is running a nano kernel that basically just redirects CPU traps to the emulator, to the 68K emulator. That's it. If it gets some PowerPC code, it executes it natively. If it's 68K, it traps it, redirects it to the emulator. That is it. That's the whole trick with PowerPC and 68K emulation, multi-architecture support in classic macOS. It's a huge band-aid. It's a giant kludge. Sorry to show you how the sausage is made on that one, but I think it's kind of interesting. So I'm going to hold down Shift on here again. And there we go. So now we've got 3 BeOS partitions we can boot from. We've got the one that's got R5, which is our BeOS 1 GB, and then I've got the BeOS 2 GB we just made. Let's boot it and see preview release 2. Okay, my VGA to HDMI is not having a good time. Let's see if I can get it to auto adjust here. Hey, look at that. That's passable. All right, we'll take it. All right, so we've got... I did not want to do that. About BeOS. There we go. Look at that. Preview release 2. Heck yeah. Oh, we've got a built-in IDE. Start writing some code. Look at that. That's MetroWorks Code Warrior right there. Look at that. Oh, it doesn't like doing the GLT pod, that's for sure. That's BeOS for you. Just start throwing stuff at it, see what it does. I love BeOS. No one can ever remove my love of BeOS from me. Ah, it's so good. Ooh, full screen. Nice. Okay, Command Q quits it. Okay. Don't have a movie to put on this faces of this cube. But I think the idea is that you can put things on the side of the cube. I think you just drag them on as if they're replicants, and you just sort of throw them on the side of the cube. What do we got? Who has joined here? Don says the teapot. Yes, the infamous teapot. All right, so we'll close this and we'll close this. We'll get maximum CPU power to the teapot. How slow is it? Almost 12 FPS. Again, software rendering, basically a frame buffer, no real acceleration going on here. Not terrible. Not terrible. Obviously nothing compared to today's machines, but not terrible. If you've ever run anything else in OpenGL software rendering, you know OpenGL is just a complete pig when it comes to software rendering performance. Clarjon 1 Plus is joined. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Clarjon is back from Rib Fest and Butterflies. Nice. Heck yeah. What else we got in here? The calculator's a demo, apparently. Okay. Flight. What is this? Uh-oh. Oh, I remember this. Wait, left and right go raise and lower your speed. What is... Oh. Oh. It's the keypad. I think we're running in 256 colors. I feel like it's not normally that dithered. Nice, a little flight sim game. Nice. Terminal velocity style. What else we got in here? Lots of stuff. Oh yeah, net positive. Do we have... How snappy that is. I just launched the browser. Bam! Jeez. Alright, network. Do I have network set up? Bam! Network. Snappy! So snappy. Add interface. Let's do onboard networking. Can I set you to DHCP? No. Okay, let's give you a manual IP then. Oh, I think that's my internal DNS. I always forget. I'm running Home Assistant with AdGuard Home for my DNS, so it filters advertising DNS. It's very nice. Oh no, it's not 240. It's 248. Right. Derpatron. Save. Restart networking. Did not add it. Save. Restart. We good? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay. DNS isn't working. Huh. Weird. What if I... Zero 248. Let's do... Darn, DNS isn't working. We have network support though. We've got IP. DNS is not happy. DNS has gone through some rather major changes recently, but I don't know. I'll debug that later. What do we got in here? We've got a terminal. Ooh, it's pretty. It's in color. It's just so snappy. I will say, I tested, like I did the pre-bake thing. I tested BeOS R5 on this earlier. Not as snappy as preview release 2, unfortunately. Not as snappy. Icon world. I think this is the icon editor. Yeah, this is the icon editor. Got the full MetroWorks IDE. This is a web server, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Web server, just serving your whole root of your hard drive. Don't worry about it. That is remote connection. That's an unzip utility. The screen magnifier. Nice. E. Email client, very basic email client. As one would expect in preview release 2. We're looking at demos. Yeah, that's Kala. That sure is. Okay, that's cute. So you've got basic message passing from app to app, right? So that's remote procedure call. They know where they are relative to each other because they can change the size of this this border. That's kind of cool. That's cool. Life, I'm guessing, is the game of life. Yes, it is. Full screen. Oh yeah, that's game of life. Seen that before? Software Valet. Oh, Software Valet transceiver. What do you do? Your remote software install? Yeah. Okay. The B Depot. Internet software distribution. Yeah, there you go. It's your software store. App Store years before Apple. Well, that doesn't do anything. Oh, we've got a Minesweeper implementation. I'm so bad at Minesweeper. How do I mark it? I have one mouse button. How do I mark it as a bomb? uh... Oh. Ow. Oh yes, font demo to show off their very nice anti-aliased text. What is up with the screen resolution? What is going on with this? Screen. Oh, that's why. Okay, let's try this. Hey. The phase is super weird. Oh, we're way off. Let me readjust this. Thanks. Thanks. Oops, that's the wrong one. Is that actually? Oh yeah, no, that's way off the side of the screen. What is going on with this? Try 60 hertz. Well, it's still off the side of the screen, but I do that. No. 70 hertz? It's closer. That's closer. Let's see if it'll auto adjust this. Come on. Doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. Fine. Still way off the edge of the screen there. How far off the edge are we? Oh, way, way off. Gotta love VGA. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, I should adjust the clock. Let's go. That should be this one. That'll pull in that far edge. There we go. Okay. Cool. That's better. That's better. That's kaleidoscope. Ooh. Oh. Oh, it's that. Oh, it's that. We tried B-Bounce. Oh, we have an about for the demo apps. Oh, and they have they had sample code on their website, b.com, which is very dead these days, I'm sure. Let's see if it'll even go. Nope. Oh, right, DNS doesn't work. For some reason, DNS is broken. Kala, B logo, B bounce. Right, okay, so preview release 2 has, as it says here, we've got 3 replicants. A whopping 3 replicants. So it's CPU monitor, which was Pulse. Pulse is still there. Look at that. Lovely. And then the clock. Show replicants from the B menu. There we go. So you can see net positive is a replicant. You can put your web browser on your desktop. How could that ever possibly be a problem? Don't put your web browser on your desktop, kids. No, just don't do it. It's a bad idea. But container can hold replicants. So if we grab our CPU monitor, we should be able to drop this into command drag. There we go, that works. Drop that onto the... What part about this don't you like? Well, supposedly it's movable, but apparently it doesn't work. A bug in the preview release, really? Just in case you wanted multiple copies of the clock. There you go. But that was like the cool technology that B was doing, was you could tear pieces of programs out and stick them elsewhere. You can stick, you know, the The practical application is you drop your clock on the desktop, right? And that's always there. I have no idea how they did this. I don't know how they made replicants work. It's obviously got to be some of that program code running there in the desktop process, but I don't know how. I'm sure it has something to do with their pervasive multi-threading, which I do remember reading about this back in the day. So like your window decoration is a thread. So window redraw is its own thread, but also the menu bar and menu rendering is its own thread. And then of course you've got the primary thread of the application where it does its thing. Another thread, which was, a lot of threads at the time. I'm talking 100 megahertz processors, spamming 40, 50 threads on startup. That's a lot. It would be overwhelming for most operating systems of the day. The big advancement that Apple did with the classic Mac OS was multi-threading the Finder, right, with Mac OS 8. And that was like, they've got one thread for doing Finder stuff, and then if you do a file copy, you get a second thread. That was it. You can get 2 threads. BeOS was just chock full of threads. Chock full of threads. So that's the demos. We looked at the develop folder, because that's our... Oh, we've got headers and libraries. Nice. Because that was... Here, the BIDE. Being the full, I guess, MetroWorks development environment. What else do we got in here? Demos, BeOS should rate the system. Here's our preferences. Our built-in apps, these are our built-in apps. All of the goodies from the BSD subsystem on this thing. It's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. But yeah, so that works a treat. So preferences, apps, boot drive setup, email, file types. And change the color scheme of your menus. Oh yeah, customizable operating systems. Click to open. Always show triggers. I think that's the... Oh yeah, that's for your keyboard acceleration. Tells you what keys you can press on the... You change your separator style. Wow. Why would you care? That's kind of classy. Make it the short ones. I'm guessing it doesn't change the B menu until you reboot. Scroll bar preferences. Look at that. Single arrows, double arrows, proportional, fixed. Nice. It's always important to have a minimum knob size. You don't want to have too small of a knob. Demonetized. Virtual memory, set our swap file size. Set date and time. Currently set to 1924, so BeOS is not year 2000 compliant. That's funny. That's funny. Oh. Sound, make silly sounds. No, it's just a mixer. Just level setting. Okay. Keyboard stuff. Oh yeah, key repeat rate. That's fine. Fonts, file types, email. Yeah. That is BeOS preview release 2. Not bad. A whole bunch of documentation. Well, this stuff. Graphics documentation. Oh no, not graphics documentation. Graphics for the documentation. There we go. Oh, that's right. The CD's got third-party apps on it. Let's go find the CD. Should still be in here. Disks. BeOS install. There we go. Third-party software. Look at this. Let's pour some of this stuff into the apps folder. Let's pour it all into the apps folder. Go. Okay, I've had my chat window hidden. Sorry. It's a no-no. What's everyone saying? Jack 68 cases asymptotically approaching 12 FPS. Yes, for the GLT bot. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shacks is it's like a scene from Airwolf. So many windows doing so many things simultaneously. Oh. Charlotte says I know it's really basic, but I still love the drive icons in the top right of the desktop. Yeah, no, they're nice. The little that's this little guy. They're comfy, you know? They are. They look comfy. Oh, yep, I was talking about my AdGuard home. Pickles has been using a Pi-hole in a Docker container. That's another way to do it. No, I8386SX says I had to learn new DNS servers at my new job, only for them to change it again. Yeah, the figures. Gut Bomb is here. Hello. Sorry, I missed you in the chat. I've been poking around with BeOS. Alright, so there's that copy is done. What do we got? Trial commercial software. What do we got in here? HScribe. Look at this. What is this? What are you? Of course it's not an executable. It's a text document. What do you want? Weirdo? What is this? Oh, look at that! It's an HTML editor! Aww! That's so cute! Look, fills in all this stuff for you. Aww! Doing HTML by hand, dropping in your images with image tags. Aw, that's so cute. Title. Look at this adorable web page. Look at that. Ta-da! Ah, that's awesome. HScribe 1.0 demo, copyright 1997. Oh yeah. With HTML 3.2 support. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Wow. Oh yeah, you got a whole bunch of toolbar icons for quick dropping in stuff. Get your BR in there. It's HTML 3.2 BR, so you don't have the trailing slash on it anymore. Ah, that's amazing. Oh, okay, what is Beatware? B Studio. README Basics. Beatware. A word processor. And spreadsheet duo. Ooh, productivity software. Amazing. Wow. Takes 2 megs of free disk space. Look out. LCS, what are you? Q Station. Oh, it doesn't like these text files. Where's my text editor? Style edit. Drag a document into you and you'll figure it out? No. Grab. Whoops, somebody copied a whole bunch of stuff into here. Yes, duplicate you there, and can I drag this to you? Boop. Yes, that's more like it. Q Station. Supernova, a modular sound solution. Ooh. So this is the thing that, like, because BeOS was so low latency, this is the thing that BeOS ended up getting used for a lot before it got, like, you know, sold to Palm and trashed. Is audio stuff. Audio was a huge thing. It wasn't super uncommon for even like 10, 15 years after BeOS, you know, died to like walk into a theater like a playhouse theater, and like if you scope out the audio, you know, the audio desk, you know, amongst all the mixers, it's a little screen running BeOS. It was I don't know what it was. I mean, obviously it was the low latency, but like they really got into audio. We just run this. Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, we've got transport controls, we've got a mixer, we've got a console. Yeah, look at that. Bingo. And this would be, yeah, you'd connect this up to a hardware mixing console, and you could drive all these faders with your fancy computer, or program them, and that's what they were mostly used for. It's very cool. That's awesome. Level Control Systems, 1997. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What is this? Oh, yeah, Gutbomb also pontificating on what things would look like if Apple had gone with this instead of Next. Garth says we may have missed out on the whole skeuomorphism phase if Apple had gone with BeOS. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe. Well, there you go. Francois says, Be Happy, which is a documentation reader app, uses a net positive replicant. There you go. Right? I'm guessing it's the replicants are kind of like Microsoft Olay, if you remember Olay from back in the 90s. Object linking and embedding, but for pieces of programs. And I'm sure that they ran in their own dedicated threads because it's all about threads on this operating system. Dorina says, I'd like to go back to before year 2000, like 1992 would be amazing. Oh, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack found a Coco 1 and a Coco 2 CRS-80 color computers. Very nice. At a local thrift store. Heck yeah. Good find. Good find. Blake DMC has joined us. Says, oh, we're going way back with Apple. Sorta. We are running We're on an actual BeOS, right? Like I've had like the funny BeOS you know, appearance manager kaleidoscope scheme on my Mac before, but this is actual BeOS running on actual PowerPC hardware, just like it would have been in 1997, which is taking me right back. I love this operating system so much. Oh my god. Can using a computer strike joy? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Look at this stuff. Rack 303. You get a whole 303 synth? Nice, for only 30 bucks. Look at this thing. Holy cow. I don't have enough screen real estate to use this thing. I said 800 by 600, I need more pixels. Look at this thing. Load everything. Load everything! That was the amount box. Alright. Another fine datasync berserker project. Nice. zog.net.au. Alright. That's pretty cool. So this is all the third-party stuff that I just copied over. Let's see, we've got additional developer tools. So we've got like, oh, layout demo. I'm guessing that's, oh no. Let's open this folder up. Developer tools, layout demo. Is this for the... Yes, for doing window layout, so you can see how that works. There's the C++ for it. Make a new button, make a new button, make another new button. Yeah, all contained in an H group. Okay. I'm guessing that's horizontal group. Yeah. These are groups including nesting. Nice. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Demo 2, there we go. More layout stuff. We got clickable buttons, checkboxes, and a quit button that works. Nice. And demo 3. Tabs can be useful. There you go. Select the OS that rules. BeOS is selected by default. We'll just leave that there. You can select Wintendo. That wouldn't happen for several more years before the Wii came out and you were able to run Windows on Wii. I think somebody got that to work, didn't they? There we go. Somebody in Windows running on Wii. There's a Mac OS. It's running Mac OS on the Wii. Nice, nice. A little rotational control there. Buttons, other stuff. Oh, try dropping colors on this window. There's a color picker. Where did it go? I wonder if I have to grab it out of the icon editor. I thought there was a color picker. We've got colors there. Can I drop color on you? No, that just picks a color. Okay. Drop a color onto the window. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, use row color beatware painter for this. Oh, okay. So that's graphics. Don't have either of those. Picasso. Ooh, Picasso. Demo version of Picasso has expired, probably because it thinks it's 1924. Let's set the clock correctly. As correctly as we can, because I don't think, let's just rotate over. Okay. Is it? No. Look at that. It thinks it's Friday. It's not year 2000 compliant. Nice. Save. Let's set this to North America. Denver in here? Denver. Save. What? It's 11 a.m. It's very wrong. Okay. Time is set. It's probably still going to say that it's expired because it doesn't expect to exist in 2024. But come on, it's called Picasso. I gotta try it. Oh, darn it. Let's set it to preferences time. Would have been what, 1997, right? Set it to 1997. It's worked on a lot of apps back then. Hey, look at that. It worked. It thinks it's 1997. So it's fine with it. Okay, so let's do a new canvas. Let's make it sizable. Maybe not the full screen. I know, 512 by 342. 342. Frame type. There we go. Ooh, oh, look at that. That's a way to select icons. Okay. Hooray! Here's my options for this thing. Do I get options for this tool? Layers. Nice! You get layers. What, patterns? Oh, nice. This is like, this is giving me Mac Paint vibes. Oh, definite Mac Paint vibes. Okay. Picasso. Draw mode, select mode. Stop working on December 1st, 1997. Well, there you go. Built in September, doesn't check that it's, you know, July 1997. Dog says no CrowdStrike updates for BeOS, huh? Nope, we are blissfully unaware of what's happening in the future. That's not bad. Huh. Alright, what else we got? Entertain. Oh, is that what it is what I think it is? Play it in a window. Do the color map. Yeah! Who remembers this game? How well is this gonna run? Oh, that's not bad. Hey, that's not bad at all. Good old abuse. It's been a long time. Gupbomb says, I was going to say I love insert name of game here, but I don't want it to be taken out of context. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, this one's tough. Got it. So, this game's fun because it's all written in Lua. If we go, yeah, or Lisp, I guess. This version's written in Lisp. Open that with styled edit. There you go. So it is all written in Lisp. Check that out. You just see all the code for the game. As long as you can, read whatever version of Lisp this is. I'm sure it's not like Common Lisp. Some flavor of it. Maybe later versions were ported to Lua. I remember some version of this being written in Lua, but maybe I'm just confusing that with the Love 2D engine or game development environment, which is also awesome. If you've never looked at Love 2D, terrific development environment for gaming. Just write your stuff in Lua. It's great. So, what else we have here? Attraction, asteroids, Nerdkill 092, 3D star chart. Oh, look at that. There we go. Click on a star. Zoom in and out. That's not bad. Huh. I think these are fake stars. I think this just like randomly generates a cloud of stars. But that's kind of impressive. It's pretty snappy. Snappy. Alright, what is this thing? Legolas. What is this? Got the tools palette over in the corner. Pixel art app? I think it's a pixel art app. Hmm. Fail is not yet implemented in Legolas. Ah, the preview software. This is so great. Oh, we have BNFS for network file system. Very nice. An FTP client. DOSFS. A news reader. Look at that. A Usenet reader. What is Usenet? Usenet is so dead, it's not even funny. It was one of these. One of the cooler things about the early internet was Usenet. Don't know what this is, but it's making noise. I'm going to close it because it's making noise. Oh, Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack has just picked up Coco 1 and Coco 2. He's like, still want a Coco 3, darn it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, thank you, Gutbomb. Gutbomb says macOS only runs on the Wii through Mac on Linux. So it's Linux's fault, really, then that exists. Yeah, no, it was a fun game. It was tough. Boy, it was tough. Trina. What we got else on here? Power Pulsar, what are you? Look at his way loading! Ah! What is this? Oh. Is this a DAW? Is this a little tiny DAW? This looks like a little tiny DAW. What is this? We've got project tracks. You can move them around. Uh-oh, I think I just duplicated that one. Whoopsies! There's no undo! Ha ha ha! Oops. The heck is this? Game kit screen. Whoa. This is like a music composition tool for making game soundtracks? Maybe? More info. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, no, actually, so yeah, so Gutbomb asks, I missed the beginning of the stream, I will watch it later, but I was curious if the install went smoothly. You know all those installs where Sean, Action Retro, goes and like puts haiku on something? It's like, and he's like, wow, it's so fast. You click, 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 and it installs. That was exactly what the install was like with Preview Release 2, which is what we're running. We're running BeOS Preview Release 2. And yeah, that was it. It was literally just like, you know, reboot into the installer CD, select the drive you want to install on, go. And it just copies everything, and it's done. And there is some monster thunder outside. We have been going for just about 2 hours, so it's probably time to cut the stream before I lose power or something. That'd be super fun. I have no idea what this thing is. It's some kind of, I think it's an audio visualizer. I think this is an audio visualizer. You're meant to like play. You either like, you bring sound straight in from a mic, you play it from your CD, you play you know, an audio file, an IF. And then it does this. I think this is a visualizer. I think it's just a visualizer. I believe that's all this is. Which is kind of wild. Power Pulsar. Interesting. All right, yeah. Why don't we call it there for now? Didn't do a lot of Q&A, but next week I'm hoping I will have this thing off on my desk. We can take a closer look at all the stuff that I got, because there's a lot of it, including, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can't quite find my SCSI card, but I've got some old SCSI drives that I'd like to take a look at and maybe, see if I can make them work. We'll see. I think next week will be fun. But yeah, numero uno, I gotta get this printer out of here, so. The screws that I'm missing arrive tomorrow, so hooray! I hope everybody had a good time. Let me switch back to the A-cam here. Play everybody out. Hello. So I hope everybody had a good time. That's the 8500. It has been just an absolute tank since I got it. I bought this thing on eBay. It said, chimes, no video. It's been perfectly fine. I did take it apart, reseated all the RAM in it. I'm probably going to buy some more RAM for it. It takes 5-volt EDO. That stuff's not actually that expensive. It's not like the weird like FPM DIMMs that the 7200 required. This will take EDO DIMMs, like normal 5-volt EDO DIMMs. So I'm going to grab those. They're pretty cheap. I'm going to throw some more memory in this thing, and I think it's going to be a primary Mac for at least a little while. We'll see. I got to get my Quadra 700s up and running as well. I have plans for those, though. I have plans. Anyway, I hope everybody had a good time, and right? Yeah, exactly. Guff Bomb says next week, getting scuzzy with Amber. That's right. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack says, are the RAM slots in good shape on the 8500? Yeah, the board's pristine. This 8500 has lived, I mean, it looks rough on the outside, but it's lived a pretty gentle life, it looks like, at least from the interior. Yeah. Yeah, they look okay. It's been nice. It's been a nice little machine to play around with. Let's drop in some packets. I'm guessing Storm's wreaking havoc on the internet. I'm gonna switch over to this view. Gush Bob says, my Quadra 700's jealous. Yeah, well, I mean, my friend texts me, and he's like, what do you know about the Performa 700? I'm like, it just doesn't exist. Performas went up to 650, and then, you know, they were 4 digits in the PowerPC era. And then I didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything for 24 hours. And he texts back, he's like, oh, yeah, sorry, Quadra 700s. I'm like, well, they're kind of a big deal in the Mac collector market. You know, they're the ones people want, because they're cool looking, and they showed up in Jurassic Park, and, you know, they're just like a quintessential 90s Mac. And then he's like, do you want one? And I'm like, do you happen to have a Quadra 700 just laying around? What do you mean, do you want one? And, you know, he went into the details. It was an estate sale, and he was pulling some stuff out of the estate, and they were having trouble getting rid of the Quadras somehow. He's like, do you want one? I'm like, yeah, of course, absolutely. And he's like, make me an offer. I'll pass it on to them, see if they say yes. And I offered, sight unseen, although I heard it was in good condition. Of them, they're in similar condition. One's a little more yellow. I'm like, well, yeah. Why buy one when you can buy 2 at twice the price? So I did. That's some thunder. Alright, I think it's time to cut the stream short. I want to zap this machine. We reboot. Should reboot in the Mac OS. Boom! They are. They really are. Jeremy's Vintage Hillbilly Shack says, I wouldn't mind one myself, but they are so expensive. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Normally. When you don't have a friend with a line on an estate sale where they're almost giving them away. Yeah. Got Bump says, wow, I heard that one. Yeah, it's a loud one. Usually after stream, I hop on my e-scooter and I go down to the subway that's nearby and I buy some dinner. I'm not doing that tonight. I'm eating in tonight. All right, so yeah, that's it's very angry outside. I think that's gonna be it for today. I hope everybody's enjoyed, and we'll be back with some more technical stuff next week, rather than just like poking around BeOS. Although I'm always down to poke around BeOS, and we haven't even looked at R5. R5 was the final release for the PowerPC. At this point, the offer, the offer for BeOS had come and gone, and now B was trying to be its own thing, right? To like survive in the market as an independent company. They had stopped making B boxes by the time R5 was out, and it was basically like, here's a couple of releases for legacy PowerPC Macs, and then we're just going to concentrate on x86. So it's interesting. It's an interesting legacy. So let me flip back to my A cam. All right. Well, there it is. We will definitely revisit that, because like I said, I want to show you all BeOS R5, the very final version of BeOS that shipped for PowerPC at least. And like it changed hands so many times before, Palm eventually bought it, and then HP bought Palm, and then it turned into WebOS, and then died. But yeah, it was fun. I hope everybody had a good time. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed your time you spent here today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Be kind to yourself and others, and may the PC parts, or the Mac parts in this case, be ever in your favor. Alright? Have a good night, y'all.